Hello everybody, John 12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you once again another TV review. Yesterday was the season premiere, the pilot premiere of NBC's new DC comic book TV show, Constantine. I'm sure everybody's already had a chance to see it, but if you haven't, this may contain spoilers to the actual pilot, but nevertheless, let's get right down to it. Today I'm reviewing the pilot episode titled Est Asylum, which is a pretty interesting title for everything. For those of you who don't know what Constantine's all about, the show itself is based off the Vertigo DC comic book title. Matt Ryan plays John Constantine, and to tell you the truth, I think Matt Ryan's the best thing about the entire show. Like, he looks exactly like he was supposed to be when it comes to John Constantine. Like, it looks like if John Constantine was like ripped out of his, comic book counterpart and just put on live action TV, that's Matt Ryan. Like, he looks that awesome, in my personal opinion. I don't know, like, for anybody who's, let's say, like, for anybody who's, like, not doing anything right now, like, just go look at Constantine in the comic books and just look at Matt Ryan, and there you go. You basically have, John Constantine, which is pretty awesome. But nevertheless, the entire show was created and developed by, yes, you guessed it, David S. Goyer. I actually had I didn't actually have any idea that David S. Goyer had anything to do with this show. I mean, like, I thought he was kind of like done with DC for a second there, but apparently he was in development of this entire fucking series, so I guess that's interesting to say. Nevertheless, I'm not trying to bash him or anything. I know a lot of other people at this point in time I've already bashed him, but nevertheless, it is what it is. He's got the title, he's got the fucking creative control. Fuck it, what are you gonna do? Nevertheless, the pilot, let's get right down to it. It basically starts off with John Constantine giving an overall monologue of what his whole ordeal is. So, like, let's say that you don't know anything about the comic book character or, like, his world. He basically gives you a monologue of, like, what he's all about and, like, what he can do and stuff. And I think that's pretty interesting. But apparently we get to see him in an insane asylum where he basically inserted himself in, and essentially goes through all these crazy procedures, and then, like, finds out, like, someone's possessed, and you have this whole interaction with him and this possessed chick, and this whole entire sequence is pretty interesting. I thought the effects in this episode were pretty good. I think some could have been better than others. I mean, there's always a good way to accomplish really awesome effects when it comes to these types of shows, but I think for what they were trying to do with this pilot, I think it was pretty good, nevertheless. Some side characters, you have Lucy Griffiths as the character of Liv Aberdeen. She plays the main lead actress in this pilot. This is where things get kind of sad. I mean, like, for anybody who actually watched the pilot, if you liked her character, you're probably never going to see her again, sadly. I mean, like, that's how I kind of feel, because throughout watching this entire episode, I was actually digging her character. I mean, Lucy Griffiths, I actually liked her. She was pretty badass in the episode. I think she had, like, a real awesome, like, I don't know if anybody else said it yet, but to me, she kind of has, like, a Rachel Weisz kind of thing, from the original Constantine movie. I don't know why, but she just has that feel to her, and I was like, God, that's fucking awesome. And she was pretty good in the episode. I don't know why they had to, like, cut her character out, but apparently, as I hear, essentially, the pilot was basically written and done before, I guess, David S. Goyer or whoever the fuck is the creators of the show basically created the rest of the series. So essentially, halfway, I guess, making this pilot or halfway making the series, they decided to write her character off, because originally, and it was kind of set up that way, which is why the ending sequence kind of feels discombobulated to me. Essentially, if you watch the pilot, you know what I'm talking about. But because overall the entire episode goes as this, is that a character played by, what's his face, Harold Perrineau, I forgot how to say his last name. He plays an angel called Manny, and he basically communicates with Constantine through space and time or whatever the fuck, and he basically tells him that he needs to be on their side, so he kind of just manipulates Constantine to join his side so he can help him, or help, the angel or heaven or whoever the fuck is in charge. I don't know, but basically save the world of demons, essentially, and save Liv Aberdeen's character because she's being, chased down by demons for undisclosed reasons and whatnot. So they go through this entire adventure, and you have other characters, like Chaz Chandler, played by Charles Halford, which I actually liked. I like that character a lot. He's basically Constantine's driver / friend, and he possesses powerful abilities, which we get to see. Spoiler alert, he dies and comes back to life. I don't know how, but he does it. Nevertheless, Liv, her character essentially goes through the entire episode learning that she has the same abilities as John, but then down the line discovers the fact that she can't continue living, not living with it, but it's not like she kills herself. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she does. I don't know. Maybe in the sidelines they were like, oh, she killed herself. Sad, but true. But nevertheless, she essentially discovers the fact that this is the way her life would be if she continued the path that John did, and she doesn't really want anything to do with that, so she ends up going her own way and just leaves, or wherever the fuck. I guess is pretty interesting way to go with it, but for those of you who liked her character and liked Lucy's performance, basically you're never going to see her again, because seeing as how that was, the original idea was to have her be, I guess, Constantine's sidekick, is basically rewritten that she ends up leaving, and then, her character is replaced by the comic book character Seed, or Zed, or whatever the fuck you say it, played by Angelica, I can't even say her last name. I suck with names, people, just deal with it. Nevertheless, we saw her character, kind of interesting, but nevertheless, I don't know why I keep saying that word over and over again, but true, her character is never coming back, which is sad, because I personally really liked it. I don't know about anybody else. In the comment section below, let me know. Do you think it was a good or bad decision to cut out the character of Liv Aberdeen? I personally think it was kind of a bad decision, because even though they're going more the comic book route, which I think is good, because my main concern going into the show is that I didn't want it to be too much like the movie, because I don't know about anybody else, but I do enjoy the movie. The movie itself, I don't think was complete horseshit. I don't think it was like a complete, dog shit on humanity or whatever. But my main concern is that it would be too religious friendly. Like, the sad thing is that going into the show, I thought it would be that, like, going into it, it would be too religious friendly in terms is that everything would be about, religion and trying to get into heaven. And, like, being, goody-goody just because, God wants you to be, it's, and that's not the character of Constantine. Constantine's an asshole, he's sarcastic, he's a piece of shit, and that's the way he needs to be. And I like the way Matt Ryan portrays him, and that's the way he should be. But that's the way it is. Essentially, her character is being replaced with the Seed character, and I think we kind of got a glimpse into what her character is, because spoilers, once again, once we end up with the ending sequence of the episode, it basically closes with like an artistic drawing of Constantine, and then we have a backup shot of a girl doing multiple drawings of Constantine, and I guess that's supposed to be her. I don't know if it is or not, but that's my guess, and I guess that's cool. I mean, like, nevertheless, once again, putting out that word, it was a pretty interesting episode. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, I'm not, like, the biggest Vertigo fan, so I can't really say, like, I caught all the little Easter egg references, but for those that I did find, the biggest and the most notable, of course, is Dr. Fate's helmet. I'm pretty sure everybody noticed it by now. There's a sequence in the episode, the pilot, where Liv and Constantine go into Liv's father's cabin, or wherever the fuck, cabin in the woods, I don't know. Anyways, they go into the cabin or whatever, he starts introducing her to these all spiritual, items or what have you, and then she picks up a helmet, and it's Dr. Fate's helmet, and I liked Constantine's, like, little suggestion about it, where it's like, you need to put it down or it's gonna fucking kill you or something. I thought that was pretty nice. But here's the interesting thing. Will we ever see Dr. Fate? That's what I really want to see, because The creators of the show have changed the format of the show to fit its comic book counterpart. So does that mean we're going to get a lot more comic book elements, or is it going to be straight up, original? That's what I really want to see, because for those of you who don't know, in the following season, we will be seeing characters from the comic book series like Pop-Up Midnight, the Spectre, which I'm really interested to see, Swamp Thing, supposedly, which is really interesting, and of course, hopefully, Dr. Fate, and of course, the creme de la creme, which is the number one character that I want to see, that I know everyone who's been watching my reviews and watching my DC reviews specifically know I've been wanting to see, which is Satana. I need me a Satana now. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know. But for me, Satana needs to come now. She needs to be in TV now. If she's not in by the next 2 weeks, I'm fucking out. Nevertheless, the episode itself was pretty good. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't the greatest pilot of all time. In comparison to, just to give you guys in comparison to Gotham's pilot, or even the Flash's pilot, I don't think it was better than those. I mean, I'm not trying to bash it by any means. I did enjoy the pilot for what it was, but I really didn't enjoy it as much as those pilots. I'm not saying that it's a terrible show or doesn't have any future, but it was just, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that kind of had gripes. I just have gripes about. These are the negatives as to why I won't say it's the best. Number one, the fact that it's on NBC. It's a curse, and it's a good thing, and then it's a curse. Because, for one, NBC obviously has been doing a good job at developing shows. I mean, they did Hannibal, and you all know I love Hannibal. But the sad thing is that it's on NBC, it's one thing to be on Fox, but, on NBC, really, ugh. And then on top of that, you have to have, depressing-ass commercials. It's I'm here watching a DC character, really awesome, yeah, fuck yeah, and then fucking commercial comes in, and then it's oh, dying kids, news at 1, dying kids, shooting at school, happening now, reports coming in, this, just depressing. I mean, what's more depressing than watching an awesome DC TV series, and then you go on to the commercial, and the commercial's about, school shootings. It doesn't help the cause. That's kind of for kids today, vice versa. It's kids today go on Disney Channel to watch whatever the fuck bullshit Marvel Avengers cartoon show is on there, and then you fucking switch from there, commercials about gang rapes. It's hey kids, gang rapes can happen to you too. What the fuck are you doing? That's the depressing part. Another depressing part is that it's on 10. It's a good thing and then it's a bad thing. For one, it's a bad thing because I have to wait that long to watch the show, because I don't really like watching shows that late, that's why I like Arrow and The Flash, even Gotham, because they all come out at the same time. They're at 8 o'clock, and that's why I like them. But Constantine's at 10, and you would think that it would be good because they would get away with a lot of things, really dark shit, really creepy shit, because, of course, Constantine's a spiritual character, not a superhero character. But at the same time, it's God, I have to wait that long to watch this show? The fucking assholes. And another terrible thing, John Constantine does not smoke, people. Yes, you probably noticed by now, but in the pilot, he does not smoke at all. Yes, the big rumor apparently is that he won't be smoking at all throughout the entire series, which is depressing. It's almost kind of like a funny but sad Easter egg, because you see Constantine consistently hold a Zippo lighter, and there's glimpses of him holding cigarettes and putting them out, but you never know. You never know. He probably just did that just to do it, or was he smoking them? I don't really know, because there's an actual clip. If you look closely, there's a bar scene where Constantine's getting drunk or whatever, and right before it pans to him, you see him putting out a cigarette. So to reference the fact that he may have been smoking, because we all know from the comic books, John Constantine, he's a chain smoker, so that's also another sad thing, but it's not a big deal. Overall, the episode itself, I give it a good 8 out of 10. It was good. It wasn't the greatest pilot of all time. To tell you the truth, I kind of hyped it up a little bit more. It was definitely a good 7.5 or 8. It was one of the two. Anyways, in the comment section below, I've been rambling for far too long. In the comment section below, let me know what you personally thought about Constantine. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about it? Do you think it has a future? What did you think about the whole Liv Aberdeen character debacle? Did you think it was a good or bad idea to cut her out? What do you think about Matt Ryan's performance as John Constantine? Personally, I love it. Also, what do you think about the newest characters to be added to the roster? What do you think about upcoming combo characters that could possibly show up in the show pretty soon, like Papa Midnight, the Spectre, Swamp Thing, and of course, fucking Dr. Fate and Satana. I really hope they come up fucking soon. But anyways, I really like the show. I'll definitely keep on watching. And unlike the other shows, this is probably going to be the first and last review until the season finale. So I hope you guys enjoy this and check out my future one. But also I'll be reviewing later this week The Flash and Arrow. So be on the lookout for that. And that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.